Hello and welcome back here in the Brickworld studio, and welcome back to a new update for my newest project, a Cyberpunk City I'm building up here in my city based on these 16 by 16 kind of Technic plates. They are originally used by LEGO for all of these paintings, but I want to use them to have a space of 16 by 16 studs for every update on the project, so we can just build up a little space and I really can finish up one of these little models in every update. As you can see here, I have a new minifigure. I found it in my collection, and that's the minifigure that really screams out, put me into a cyberpunk city. So that's what we are going to do today. That minifigure wants to be placed, so we need to build up a new 16 by 16 plate, and I decided to build it here on that position, so we can build up a little bit here, can add a little entrance of the building, we can include a little kind of a hallway, and that's what I want to do in today's update. I already started to build up the basic structure of our new model. As you can see here, I just built it up a little bit to have the same height as we have on the other side of the first model. And here you can see that entrance area I want to include. That's just being a door. The door is going to be open, so we can see into that little hallway. We can have a little kind of a storytelling area here. I think it's very important to also create the inner parts, but on the other side, I don't want to do it like in my main city of Brickgate, my city in our time, because I do not want to include every interior. It's more important to have the overall look. By the way, as always, I'm using the system from Light My Bricks, but I decided to expand it a little bit, and I have a little bit of a time to build up that little construction you can see here, because there's a kind of little strip of light inside here. It's just like a big light beam, and that's I want to integrate in that location. That was a little bit tricky because it has to be at the exact location, and I'm using these little railings here to build it up, so I can just put it up in that location. Now we have a little jumper plate here. That's where I'm going to put that on top, but that construction is a little bit unstable, so I had to find out how I can integrate it back to the normal grid. As you can see here, that's that little offside, so we have position between two studs. So I decided to build up that little like of column here. On top there's once again a little jumper plate. Then we are putting another jumper plate on top of it, as I'm doing it here. A little bit tricky with just one hand. And on top of it we can put a 2x2 plate that has a little negative stud here in the middle, so we can put it on top of here. And now we are back to the normal grid again, and we can include it into our construction. Okay, yes, it's a little bit unstable still, but it's going to be more stable later on when everything is connected to the bigger construction of that building. So that's good for now. As you can see here, it's a little bit hidden, but I think that is a very nice light effect here running up here. I just like it because light is something that's also really important for Cyberpunk City. And the basic idea of Cyberpunk is high-tech, low-life. So it means we have a very modern technological society, but the life itself is a big problem. Next up, I worked a little bit more of that little hallway. I included a lot of tiles here on the floor, but also I wanted to integrate that fence structure you can already see here. That's something we're going to see from the outside, but I wanted to do a little kind of trick here, because I have integrated just that fence here. That's not an initial Lego part, it's from another brand, but Lego has not a part like that. On the other side, I have all these black parts, so it looks like there's a fence, and behind the fence is just a black room without lights, and that makes a little nice imagination here when you're going to look from the outside inside here, and makes it look much bigger than it really is. And it's some kind of little tricks that I also using in my big Brickgate city, but I thought it's a very nice addition to it here. By the way, I'm not sure how I'm going to input later on that battery box, but for now it's just placed here. On the other side, I'm also going to pull up just some black walls here on the right side. We are not going to be able to see that wall from the other side later on, so I just want to black it out a little bit. Later on, there's going to be also a little expansion of that hallway, because you can see it from that side. Maybe we're going to do on the next model a 90-degree angle, so we can just go out of that viewpoint here. But for now, for the today's model, I think that's a good solution. But that's of course not everything for today. I also decided to build up a little bit higher, but I also decided not to build only of the new model on the top, but also on the first model we did last time. And I really think that little balcony construction here with that more indirect light on the under it makes a really nice imagination already now. We still have only two models, a little construction here, but we already have, as you can see here, 6 lights going out. We have the battery box, but it's a USB-A port, so you can put it on something else where you get your electricity. But you can see that's the first stuff here is already full, so we have 6 different lights already here in that little area. But I think it is very important to have a lot of lights, especially in different colors, to really have that imagination of that cyberpunk world. Especially, as you can see here, we have that little flickering light in that hallway, and we can really see that it looks like there is more room behind that fence structure here. But as I said before, there's just a black wall, but it really makes that imagination, and that's just a little, a little kind of trick, of course. And as you can see here, that's the final product for today's update. Everything is included, and I really like the overall look, how it expanded in today's update. And it already turns out better than I thought when I really started making up that project idea in my mind. And of course, that little balcony, maybe there's going to be another minifigure soon. But next time when we're going to expand that, we are going to expand it to the right side. I'm not sure if we're going to do it already on the back side or on the front side. As I said before, 1 model per update. But we're also going to build up higher and higher, because that's also a very important part of that, cyberpunk construction. We have a lot of printed parts here. Some are from TrixBricks, some are real Lego parts, some are from my own design. You can, by the way, find them on my online shop. And yeah, I really like the overall look. If you also like it, if you want to see more of my cyberpunk project or from my other projects like the Medieval City project or the Modern City project, just subscribe and you get more updates almost every day at the moment, because I really want to get to the place where the German channel is at the moment. So yeah, more is coming soon, more plates coming soon in that project, and I think the next 2 updates are going to be placed on that 2 locations. So we have a real base plate size of 32 by 32 studs and a lot of details. I really like it, and the light, I just see it, the light is very, very important. So big thanks goes to Light, my bricks, my partner with everything with the topic of lights. And yeah, I really like that little project. Maybe you like it too. Just write it in the comment, maybe of some ideas. And yeah, it's a very nice little project. And you also can get a lot of these little parts where you don't know where to put them in a cyberpunk world, because it just looks nice, at least in my opinion. So stay tuned for future updates on that project and other projects. And if you want, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever. And see you soon here on my channel, and bye.